I found, discovered, call it what you will, Van Halen a long time ago, brought him into the studio and produced him.
And you mentioned Van Halen there. There is the story about how you found them and you signed them originally to a contract, didn't you? But you didn't manage to get them over the line. And did you let them go? What was the story behind all that?
I couldn't get the rest of the guys in Kiss, Paul and everybody, or the manager, Bill Coyne, to recognize that they were going to be the next big band. And I wanted to take them under our wing, opening up for us. They just didn't hear it.
Wow.
And so I didn't feel ethically right about it. We were going back out on tour. So the band is signed to me. What are they can't do anything without my approval. So I tore up the contract and I said, "You're free if you don't get signed to a label or something. When we come off tour 6 to 8 months from now, we'll try it again. I'll have some more time. But right now, I got to go back out on tour." I did the right thing. Within a month or so, they got on Warner Brothers. And I do remember when we were in the studio saying, let's do a cover of something that you feel comfortable about, because that your first single, you don't really write singles, because of the bombastic nature of what you do. Let's try to find something that has more of a chorus kind of a thing. And the guys didn't want to do that. They want to be authentic to their own thing. But sure enough, the first single was You Really Got Me by the Kinks, and a phenomenal version they did, which was a hit and opened the door.
Absolutely. And what were the guys like back then before they were signed? Could you tell that? Well, obviously you could, but could you see that they had the everything it took to become huge, as big as they became?
Like no band I'd ever seen. I I went to see a group called the Boys, ends with a Z, Boys, because I was invited to a place called the Starwood. My date that night was B.B. Buell, who was a playmate. She would later have a child with Steven Tyler, Liv Tyler.
Wow.
But that night, she was with me. And we're upstairs and people are coming over. Hey, man, so there's a lot of hey, mans going around. I don't talk like that, actually. And trying to be nice to people, sign an autograph or two. And I started to hear this amazing sound. I thought it was two guitar players playing in harmony with each other. I said, wow, that's an interesting sound. I went to the upstairs, overlooking the stage and all, and it's just one guitar player, one bassist, great drummer, and this singer out front, shirtless, who's doing, athletic stuff on stage nobody had ever done before. I went, what in God's name is that? So by the third song, I was backstage waiting for them to come back. And when they came back, I said, whatever you're about to do, I'm going to change your life. Sign to me, my company, Man of a Thousand Faces Incorporated. I'll fly you to New York. We'll do a demo at Electric Lady Studios where Hendrix and Zeppelin and everybody was. And, their eyes just kind of, what? And we did. And they were, wild eyed and innocent back then. And it was a real band back then. Of course, fame and money and everything changes things and personalities. In fact,
Okay.
in 1982, it got so bad for the guys that Eddie called me. We were recording an album called Creatures of the Night. And he came down to the studio. And I said, well, let's get out of here. Let's go across the street to a place to grab some coffee or something. And he asked me to join Kiss. I can't take Roth anymore. I've got to get out of here. And I think I did the right thing by talking him out of it. Said, no, you've got to rough it out. You can't be on a jet without turbulence. That's just the nature. Even if you get married, you will have some rough spots. Just hang in there. And besides, if Van Halen ever joined Kiss, which would never happen, there's no room. He's got so much sound coming out of that guitar. You need to get out of the way and just have bass and drums in back of it, so because he fills it up. Townsend's the same. how would you have another rhythm player with Townsend's chords taking up everything? It would be difficult.
Very true.